The Wyatt Six! Oh, man. What a Monday Night Raw. What a Monday Night Raw tonight, man. I felt like that 3 hours absolutely sailed by. So many different things going on, man. So many different stories going on. Drew McIntyre quits WWE. I guess he wasn't pleased that management let CM Punk run to the ring with a referee shirt on. I'll tell you where Drew McIntyre is going to show up, because Punk is on Friday night in Chicago. More Liv Morgan seducing Dominic Mysterio, but I wonder, how does a huge cow vest like that go missing so easily? I don't know, man. Sami Zayn looks like he has a whole slew of new challengers, not named Chad Gable. Otis finally mans up and walks away from Chad Gable. Money in the Bank qualifiers. Seth Rollins is back. And Bo Dallas keeps his promise. The Wyatt Massacre happened at the end of the show, and my God, man, they couldn't have nailed it any more perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, we already got 3,000 here. I haven't even said a fucking word yet. But I'll tell you what, we're going to the beer garden, and tonight, we're drinking them cold. For Wyndham. When I get to the beer garden, I want you guys to raise them up. And when I get there, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
Guys, thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for June 17th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Monday evenings, wherever you may be. Man, oh man, oh man. I don't even know where to begin. Honestly, I really don't. This show was something else tonight, man. I was expecting a semi-important show coming out of Clash at the Castle, which was very newsworthy in its own right. But what we got tonight, man, we got a little bit of everything. Monday Night Raw is going to be a top contender for show of the year. This one that we seen tonight on Monday night. When you look back at Monday Night Raw this year, this one will be near the top of the list. This is going to be the best show of the week by far. Easy. I guess we'll start with the Wyatt family. I'll get into all of the breakdown of what happened at the end of the show. We'll get there later, but my initial reaction to what we saw, I honestly didn't know what we were going to get as far as the Wyatt family. I thought it was, deep in the back of my mind, I thought we were going to get something along the lines of what the Nexus did on Monday Night Raw, where we had Bryan Danielson choking out Justin Roberts with his own tie and John Cena being beaten to a bloody pulp. I thought we were going to get something like that at the end of that triple threat match. But the lights go out, and the very familiar sound effects of the lights going out in the arena, section by section. The same way that Bray Wyatt came out when you know the Fiend was near. The lights go out, and we see the doorway. We see the forbidden door. And the door opens. It doesn't just open, it swings open violently. All of a sudden, we see this female figure crawling out. And this was fucking creepy, man. I'm not one for scary movies. I don't really dabble in the genre of horror movies. But this was fucking creepy, man. It reminded me of something out of The Ring or something out of one of them paranormal flicks that I won't watch alone in the dark. Clearly, this was Nikki Cross. You can tell by the body movement, and you guys can tell by the face, even under the mask and the makeup. Nikki Cross crawled out from the doorway, which was fucking creepy. And she crawls towards the lantern. She crawls towards Bray's lantern. She stands up. She doesn't do anything but point. She points behind her. Now, here I am thinking that the next member is going to come out. And then after that, the next member is going to come out. I didn't know what to expect here, man. Nikki Cross points to the back. The cameraman who was salvaged in this massacre, he was the lone survivor here. Cameraman follows to Gorilla and walks to Gorilla. And we see what is legitimately a scene out of a horror movie. We got lights flickering. We got smoke and ambiance. We got bodies strewn about like Michael Myers went on a fucking killing spree. Bodies piled up. We got people laying in the corner, bloodied. The Gorilla position was completely destroyed. All of a sudden, we see a figure sitting on one of the production crates in Gorilla. I'll get to who that is in a second. Then we go behind Gorilla, and we see body upon body upon body standing above this massacre. And in his hands, over his shoulders, he's holding a bludgeoned object. Now, if you guys remember, Eric Rowan was in a tag team with Luke Harper, God rest his soul, Brody Lee. He was in a tag team called the Bludgeon Brothers. Quite evident that that was Eric Rowan standing in the second scene with a hammer, or a sledgehammer of sorts, with the word help written on it. The first one, I believe, was Dexter Lumis. That's who I believe that was. Looked like him. He had tattoos up and down his arm. You could see who is in this new Wyatt 6. So we got Nikki Cross. We got Dexter Lumis sitting with his legs crossed on top of the production crate. And then we got Eric Rowan. All of a sudden, we move on to the back. It looked like Braun Breaker, by the way, was on the floor for everybody calling out Chad Gable lost to Braun Strowman tonight, and then he was featured bloodied in one of the scenes. Don't worry, Braun Breaker was laying there as well. They really played this off to the fullest extent. So we go to the back after we see Eric Rowan standing there in the mask. He was wearing the rabbit mask. We go to the back and we see who I believe is Joe Gacy. Now, it could be somebody else, but the rumor was Joe Gacy's going to be a part of the Wyatt family and the rebranding of the Wyatt family. I do believe that's Joe Gacy. So he was standing there, and he was in his mask and his outfit, and bodies strewn about, and all of a sudden we see in the light, this was fucking perfect, in the light standing behind Joe Gacy, what is believed to be Joe Gacy, you see Bo Dallas. You see him donning the Uncle Howdy outfit. And Uncle Howdy, let me tell you something, man. I was a fan of what The Fiend looked like. I was a fan of The Fiend presentation. I love the music and the ambiance. But let me tell you something, man. This Uncle Howdy shit is on a completely different level. This is me. This is more my style. The Uncle Howdy presentation, the mask, the way he walks, the coolness factor of him, the beard showing through the mask. I love it. I think it's fucking great. I really do. I loved... The one thing I did really regret about Bray's passing, God rest his soul, was the fact that we did not get them working together. The few instances that we seen Bo working alongside Bray when we saw Uncle Howdy on television, man, I would have loved to see that. I thought he came... There was just this natural fucking charisma. But he didn't even say anything. Just natural charisma about it, you know? Standing there with his arms wide open, which is obviously an Easter egg. Bray Wyatt's got the whole world in his hands, right? He walks towards all this massacre. He walks by what I believe is Joe Gacy. He walks by Eric Rowan. He walks by Dexter Lumis, and they all walk out. All four of them through Gorilla, and the camera's following them through Gorilla as they meet up with Nikki Cross in the aisleway. And they stand there as a fivesome as Monday Night Raw goes off the air to chants of holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. But JD, it's only 5. Where's the 6? Why are they branding it the Wyatt 6? Two things. One, we could see, I don't want to say that it is, but we could see Alexa Bliss in this group. She could theoretically be the leader of this group. We don't know. We don't know. I don't really care to see her a part of this. I don't really care to see her in this group at all or having to do anything with this group, though she does fit the lore because she worked with Wyndham. Or, number 2, the 6th is reserved for Wyndham himself in the spirit of Wyndham, which I believe is probably the best way to go about it. I would leave that open and have that be the spirit of Wyndham Rotunda, the Wyatt 6, operating on his behalf. I get what people are going to say on social media following this. I know you're going to get all the AEW geeks and all these people who hate this type of shit. I get it. It is a little ridiculous that you're seeing half of the fucking locker room and half of the backstage area destroyed. Where's Triple H? Where's Adam Pearce? Where's Bruce Pritchard? Where's all the producers and agents? Are we to believe that they're dead? Where did they go? Chad Gable's got a Money in the Bank qualifying match next week against Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. Are we to believe that he's just going to show up next week and win the Money in the Bank qualifier after he was bludgeoned to death this week at the end of Raw by the Wyatt family? I get the silliness of it. I understand it. You have every right to sit there and say, well, this is stupid. I get it. But Jesus Christ, man, put your Mark-isms away and suspend your belief for a little bit. This wasn't about, what's happening next week? Where is everybody? How is this going to work? Where is this going to work out? Blah, 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 blah. This was a love letter to Bray Wyatt. I don't think WWE could have played this off and presented this any more perfect than what they did tonight. Every aspect of the visual, every aspect of their costume, every aspect of the way that the show ended was fucking perfect. The presentation of this, I said on social media immediately after it was over, the presentation of this was immaculate. You could not ask for anything better. If you are a fan of Wyatt, if you are a fan of the Wyatt universe, if you are a fan of the lore that Wyatt created, you're having a fucking field day with this shit, man. This is right up your fucking wheelhouse. This is fucking beautiful. To you, this is beautiful. And I get it. I understand it. But I'm here to question one thing and one thing only. And you guys can't go in on me for this, because this is what I do with everything, no matter what. What's next? Typically, when you see a debut or such, an over-the-top, unbelievable, perfect, immaculate presentation of something like this when they introduce a new character, what's next? How are they going to go about doing this whole group moving forward? Who are they going to feud with? Now, that's the best thing about it. What is their mission statement? Why are they here? What do they want? What is their end goal? These are questions that we need answered. Absolutely. But after destroying half of the fucking backstage area, how do you follow that up? How do you go into next week's show and top what you did this week? You can't sit there and have these guys cut fucking, cryptic promos and leave us empty-handed, trying to guess what their next move is. We don't need that. We got 3 months of that shit. You got to come out and you got to tell me what the fuck you're doing here, why you're here, what you want, and what your mission statement is. Now, I don't expect them to massacre everybody every fucking week. That would be a little stupid. That would be a little unbelievable. But the follow-up to this normally goes downhill. I'm not sitting here already writing it off, but I do have concerns because with everything that starts out this hot, there's nowhere else to go but down. And I don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the group. I don't want to bring bad news to people who are riding high on this. It's just a generous, observation. It's a general concern. Watching WWE as long as I have, that when you start at the top like this and you get hyped about this, where the fuck do you go? Where do you go? But outside of what we were led to believe with this group and everything else that happened on Monday Night Raw, this was the most perfect debut for them. It was a little mix of horror. It was a little bit of that Wyatt family lore. It was a little... And the report says they weren't going to be supernatural, and I hope to God that they stay that way. We didn't see any supernatural garbage here. This was just straight a scene out of a horror movie. People were fucking bloodied and bodies stacked upon bodies, and the Wyatt family was walking through the chaos to end Monday Night Raw. They need to come out swinging. If we don't start Monday Night Raw off next week with why this happened and what the fuck we are doing here, the conclusion of Monday Night Raw leading into the beginning of next week, what the fuck are we doing here? But outside all those concerns, and outside that one huge, glaring concern, the presentation of what we got tonight was fucking perfect. Perfect. Every bit of it was fucking perfect. Wyatt's looking down wherever he may be with a huge smile on his face, ear to ear. That entire family is fucking glowing tonight with the spirit of Wyndham at the end of that Monday Night Raw. Unbelievable. That was only one thing that happened on the show tonight. That was only one thing. We got Seth Rollins back. A lot of people are wondering, well, why is Seth Rollins back after all this time? We haven't seen him since WrestleMania. Why is he back being granted a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match? Man, oh man, listen, man. I love teaching you all the reason why. I'm going to explain why Seth Rollins got a World Championship match at Money in the Bank and what this is going to lead to. I will talk about that tonight. Liv Morgan stole Dominic's cow vest. Where did she get that cow vest from? And is Dominic being set up? It's a possibility. Money in the Bank qualifying matches. We got Sami Zayn with a huge problem for the Intercontinental Championship. He's not going after Chad Gable anymore. Braun Breaker and Sheamus want the Intercontinental Championship. What are we looking at there? Ludwig Kaiser's throwing his name into the hat. Chad Gable, he's got no Alpha Academy after tonight as Otis walks away from Chad Gable's bullshit. We got a lot to talk about here, man. We got a lot to talk about on this Monday Night Raw. Tonight, sponsored by Blue Chew. You guys are fucking awesome. We got 5,000 in here tonight, and I haven't even gotten started. Thank you guys very much, man. I'm going to keep this simple and quick. If you guys missed today's upload, go check it out. You guys want the real reason why Drew McIntyre got screwed at the end of Clash at the Castle. I uploaded a video at 5 p.m. this afternoon. Go and check it out. I pinned it at the top of the live stream chat. You need something to watch after the stream? Go check it out. Class is in session, always. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo. Make sure you guys go do that. Hit that subscribe button down below. I believe we just hit officially tonight 160,000 subscribers, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000. We just hit 1,000 likes. We just hit 1,000 likes. Can we try for 2,000 likes tonight? On Monday Night Raw and the official post right here on OTS. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We got a party going on here, man. We got Cam G, we got Phantom, we got David Thiering and Senile with $100 super chats. Keep that energy flowing, guys. I'm feeling good tonight. Keep it going. And let's blow this shit out of the water tonight, man. Get those super chats in. We'll hang out with our cold beverages for Wyndham at the end of tonight's show. Sponsored by Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout for your free sample. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. Let's get into this Monday Night Raw, man. I was genuinely surprised. I did not expect to see Seth Rollins back on Monday Night Raw this soon. I did not expect to see Seth Rollins back this soon on Monday night, and I'm glad he is back because Monday Night Raw needed him to be back. We're getting Punk back at the end of July. He will be at SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre is back for now. He quit tonight. I'll tell you where he's going to show up a little bit later on in the show. Punk is back, McIntyre's back, and Rollins is back. Monday Night Raw is now back at full strength. We just need Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch back in action. Asuka as well. Can't leave out Asuka. And now we got the Wyatt 6 on Monday night. Monday Night Raw seemingly is the A show in all of professional wrestling right now. I was genuinely shocked when Seth Rollins' music played. This was a moment that I don't think anybody really anticipated. I don't think people expected him back this early. I personally was expecting Rollins back after SummerSlam. I was expecting him back towards the end of the year. I was expecting him back closer to the Royal Rumble because he went out and got knee surgery, or maybe he didn't. I don't know. Seth Rollins comes out. Everybody was shocked. He came out wearing a white suit, white hat. He milked the moment. He was happy to be back. Fans chanted, "Welcome back." They sang his song. And he's in the ring. He's living it up. He's soaking in the moment. He said he wanted to cut to the chase. He says he got into pro wrestling to be the very best of all time, and he can't do it without getting back the championship that he made, the World Heavyweight Championship. He says he knows how to climb a ladder pretty well and is quite familiar with the Money in the Bank contract. So that's the fastest way for him to get back what he wants. Get back into the mix for the title shot. Gonna stop there. Seth Rollins came out tonight for all the fucking AEW morons out there who got into my thread and started asking ridiculous questions. Well, where's that same energy, man? Are you gonna rant on Rollins getting a championship match? I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Let me do my job and explain to you why, A, you're a fucking idiot, and B, this is not AEW Dynamite where they book week-to-week television by the fucking dick of their pants. First of all, Seth Rollins didn't ask for a World Championship title match. Let me repeat that. He did not ask for a World Heavyweight Championship match. Wow. The man comes back and wanted to enter a field of 6 to win an opportunity to cash in a Money in the Bank contract and get back his championship title. He didn't actually ask for a match. He was going to enter the Money in the Bank ladder match, or at least be a part of the qualifying matches to be a part of the field of 6 for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Wow. All the AEW low IQ fucking geeks, that probably went over their head. One of the dumbest fan bases in the history of pro wrestling. Damian Priest walks out there. The World Heavyweight Champion who just defended his title against Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. Successfully, by the way. And he's walking all right. He was selling that fucking ankle like death at the pay-per-view. Kudos to Damian Priest. I said it then on Saturday afternoon. I'll say it again tonight. The guy did not get the credit he deserved for that fucking match. Everybody's talking about CM Punk. That match was great. Fucking fantastic. And Damian Priest is the reason for that, because he sold that shit like death, and it actually made the match better than it really was. Damian Priest walked out. World Heavyweight Championship belt over his shoulder. He gets into the ring. And he welcomed Seth Rollins back to Monday Night Raw. And he said he meant it sincerely. No sarcasm. Says he looks great. Says he looks healthy. Said he wanted to cash in his briefcase against him. And honestly, you were the one I wanted to cash that in on, not Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest knew that Seth Rollins was the champion, and it would have meant more to him to beat Rollins than it would Drew McIntyre. And he ended up beating Drew anyway, with the help of Punk. But he ended up beating Drew. But he wanted at WrestleMania to cash in on Rollins because I'm assuming it had to do something with Rollins being the only guy to cash in his briefcase at WrestleMania, and Damian Priest was the second guy, and it would have been a cherry on top of the cake if he did it against the one guy that did it before him. Just a hunch. Says he looks great, he looks healthy, wanted to cash in against him at WrestleMania. Seth said he almost lost his leg over in Scotland against Drew. He said he and Drew are a lot alike. He both made their names, or they both rather, made their names in groups for Damian Priest, the Judgment Day and the Shield. He called the Shield the greatest group of all time. He says they both won Money in the Bank, and they took a long time to cash it in. But when they did, they both made their mark at WrestleMania and both won their first world titles at WrestleMania. So Rollins basically confirmed what Damian Priest was already thinking when Priest said, I wanted to cash in on you and not McIntyre. He said what separates them is that they eventually grew a set and realized to build a legacy for himself. And he said he had to stand on his own 2 feet. He asked Priest what he wants his legacy to be. What do you want your legacy to be? Priest says it's a good question, and he gets why he's asking it. Priest said he was Seth's first challenge for his world title, and Seth won because he was better than him. Times have changed. He said some people thought he was going to relinquish the title tonight coming out here due to the injury to his ankle. He said instead, he challenged him to face him at Money in the Bank for the title rather than have him go into a Money in the Bank ladder match. Seth obviously was a little hesitant here. He asked, is this a trap? Are you setting me up on my return? Are your goons going to come out and attack me because you're out here asking me if I want a championship match instead? Priest said this was a sincere offer. Seth said, if it's that simple, he accepted his challenge. So let me go over what we saw here. A lot of people are upset. Oh, well, Seth Rollins is getting a championship match and he has done nothing for it. That's fantastic. I'm glad you guys can observe with your own two eyeballs that Seth Rollins is getting a world championship opportunity. Fantastic. But here's the thing, guys. Rollins came out and A, wanted to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match to get a fair shot at the title. B, Damian Priest came out here and said, well, listen, I'm glad you're back, but I wanted to cash in on you instead of on Drew for X reasons. So what I'm going to do is you're not going to have to go into Money in the Bank. Instead, I'm going to give you a championship match at Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know why you need to ask any more fucking questions. I don't even know why you're asking questions, period, about what happened here. Oh, well, why did Seth get a championship match? I mean, do you have fucking ears? Are you deaf? Damian Priest, the champion, gave Seth Rollins a championship match. How many times has this happened over on the other show? Every fucking championship. The champion's giving away championship matches. Adam Copeland gave away how many fucking championship matches? To people that don't deserve it. How many times has Orange Cassidy given championship matches? How many times has Kyle O'Reilly gotten championship matches on AEW television, losing one after the other? After the other. This guy's challenged for all the major singles championships in the single fucking month of June itself. Yet we're here crying about Seth Rollins, who is probably one of the faces of the company, getting a world championship match against Damian Priest at Money in the Bank. Here's another fucking cherry on top for you fucking unintelligent idiots out there. I'm sorry if you don't agree, but you can kiss my ass. After what Seth Rollins did at WrestleMania, the fucking simple fact of the matter is, this man wrestled injured twice in one weekend, mind you. Man nearly wrestled an hour over 2 nights with a bum knee that he obviously needed fucking medical attention for. He goes into that tag team match against Rock and Roman, teaming with Cody, goes 45 minutes, wrestles another 12 on night 2, and then shows up in the main event to help Cody while he's Cody's shield, helping Cody win the World Heavyweight title in one of the most momentous occasions in WrestleMania history. The man basically saved WrestleMania. Because if Rollins goes down after all the other shit that WWE had to deal with, what the fuck are we doing in that main event for night 1? What are we doing? Without Rollins, that whole fucking thing falls apart. That whole moment doesn't exist without Seth Rollins. So for all the fucking people asking why is Seth Rollins getting a world championship match, you can kiss my fucking asshole, because after what he did at WrestleMania, there's no better fucking person for the job to get this title match than that man who showed up tonight. Any more questions? Curb your fucking tribalism. Curb your hatred for Paul Levesque, and curb your hatred for WWE while comparing everything they do to AEW. These are the facts of the matter. And if you don't like it, go watch Tony Khan book week-to-week television that doesn't make any fucking sense on a show that has zero excitement surrounding it going into their biggest show this summer. I don't know what else I need to tell you guys. They laid it out for you, word for word. Rollins didn't get a championship match because he was handed it like fucking Kyle O'Reilly. He wanted a Money in the Bank opportunity. Damian Priest comes out and is a fighting champion. Hey, man, I wanted to cash in on you. Here's my gift to you upon return, a world championship match. Great. Great. Here's another question for you. Who exactly is Damian Priest defending the world championship against that Money in the Bank if it's not Seth Rollins? Who is it? Anybody got any good replacements there? Anybody got any solid choices there? Who are we getting? McIntyre got fucked. Punk isn't ready. Gunther is getting a championship match at SummerSlam, who exactly is getting a World Championship match against Damian Priest at the pay-per-view? Because you know that there's got to be at least one world title on the line, because it looks like, by what we've seen in Money in the Bank or at Clash of the Castle going into Money in the Bank, that Cody won't be defending his World Championship at Money in the Bank. So Damian Priest has to step up to the plate. And we don't know what Rollins' recovery process was. We don't know if WWE wanted to keep Rollins out for a longer period of time. We don't know if he's ready to go. The fact of the matter is the man is back since he was out for what? April, May, June. June 18th. The guy was out for 2 months. And you're complaining about Rollins being back on Monday night when the show was sorely needing him back anyway. Don't you think that the summer on WWE television is better with Rollins on it? Don't you think Money in the Bank is better with Rollins on it? Don't you think Money in the Bank is going to be a banger show with Rollins on it? Don't you think SummerSlam is going to be a better show because Rollins is on it? How don't you know this is going to play into a longer story? Because I know a lot of people are thinking, well, it's going to be Priest versus Gunther at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship. How do you know? What if WWE has another championship match in mind? What if they do Seth Rollins winning the World Championship back at Money in the Bank, and Seth Rollins goes into a match with Gunther one-on-one? Boy, oh boy, does that change SummerSlam drastically. Gunther and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. CM Punk versus CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre for the grudge match that they have going on. Man, oh man, if you're looking at that three-headed beast for SummerSlam, Cody versus Randy, Seth versus Gunther, and Punk versus McIntyre. I don't know, man. Are you going to go out there and complain that Triple H only books 5 matches for a fucking pay-per-view, or are you going to shut your mouth and fucking enjoy what could be an all-time SummerSlam? I don't know, man. I'm just thinking ahead. I'm thinking out loud. Let's see it play out first before you start jumping on fucking creative and why Seth Rollins is getting a World Championship match. Because clearly they laid it out for you why it makes sense. And clearly I explained to you why Seth Rollins, out of everybody else, because there is nobody else, who you're going to give it to. If you're going to give it to somebody, that fucking man deserves every bit of it. So don't question me and don't question why it's happening. Because there's literally no argument for you to come back and say, well, why? That's why. That's why. Adam Pearce, earlier in the day, they showed a clip of him wrapping up some phone calls. In walks Chad Gable. He asked for a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm like, all right, here we go. Here we go, man. Pearce says he should get to the back of the line and earn another shot. He's had title opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Gable turned and yelled at Tozawa that he missed another show. Thanks for not showing up. He said some one-liners and one-off nasty things to Maxine and Otis. So Gable turned back to Pearce and says, I'd like to face someone worthy tonight, being that I got to wrestle my way to the top again. Pearce rubbed his hands together. All right, man, I got the perfect guy for you, man. We're going to get this thing done tonight, and you're going to have a match tonight against somebody I'm going to choose for you. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. His opponent was none other than Braun Strowman. Don't really care to see this. Don't really care to see Braun Strowman and Chad Gable. But here we are. This match went about 7 minutes. So if I was to describe this match to you, it wasn't a squash. But whatever is a step above a squash, it was that. Now, I don't know why. I could automatically sit here and tell you, well, there you go, man. The new administration, they reeled in Chad Gable, had him sign a new contract, and then are going to bury him. I don't think that's the case at all. But it certainly looks like Chad Gable, for now, is done with the Intercontinental title. Strowman was in full control. We go to a break. We come back from break. He's in control. He tried running over Gable, but he used Tozawa as a shield. So Strowman picked up Tozawa and tossed him at Gable, which I don't know if you can really call that a disqualification or not. He used another man as an illegal object. I guess the referee let that one slide. Strowman picks up Gable, hits a power slam, and basically that was it. Most of this match was in the commercial break. We saw like 2 minutes of it on TV. The match itself wasn't even the story. It was part of the story. It was what happened after the match that was why we were here. Gable sitting in the ring and giving the same facial expression that he gave us at the end of the match with Sami Zayn at Clash of the Castle in Scotland. This death stare. He was staring off into space. He couldn't believe what happened. He can't believe what's going on. None of the Alpha Academy, by the way, tried to help him. None of them. Gable called the Alpha Academy into the ring. He put his hands on Tozawa. He starts shoving Tozawa. Maxine Dupree, on a crutch, by the way. She's hobbling on one leg. She gets in between Tozawa and Chad Gable. She gets in Chad Gable's face. So Gable kicked her crutch away. She's hobbling there on one foot, and he takes the crutch and throws it out of the ring. Gable is asshole of the year. So Otis is helping Dupree out. Gable goes and slaps the shit out of Akira Tozawa. Otis has his back turned to this. Otis sits up. He hears the slap from Gable to Tozawa. He turns around and he is ready to fucking kill Chad Gable. Otis heard this. He turned around. He gets in Gable's face. Crowd starts to slowly get louder and louder and louder because they know that Otis is fucking pissed now. Otis shoved Gable halfway across the ring. Crowd erupted. Otis did not kill Gable. He did not harm Gable after the shove. He assisted Tozawa and Dupree out of the ring and to the back. The crowd started to chant for Otis and chanted, "You suck, at Chad Gable. Now, I will address the elephant in the room. I will address the elephant in the room. And I will try and decipher what we got here and why we didn't get it at Clash of the Castle and why we didn't get it a week before the pay-per-view when it was even just as hot. I understand, and I feel the same way you guys do. Everybody was anticipating and expecting some big turn for Otis. Big boss man slam or big world's strongest slam on Chad Gable. Big squash in the corner, beating the shit out of him. I get it. I understand why you're upset. I understand why some are left feeling underwhelmed. I feel the same way as you guys. Not to the extent of some people, but after weeks of buildup, you have absolutely no wrong in asking, well, is that it? Is that all we got? But here I am thinking about this. Otis is already over as fuck. Everybody knows that Otis is going to end up leaving Chad Gable. So I'm thinking Otis is so over already. And when he leaves the Alpha Academy on his own volition, he's going to be just as over. But how do we get him to the next level? There's stages to this. How do we get him to the next level? I feel like what we're going to be building towards is a Gable versus Otis match at some point. It's not the greatest. It's not what I really envisioned. I like a lot of other people's takes on this a lot more than what we could be potentially going towards. I would give Chad Gable another opportunity by hook or by crook at the Intercontinental Championship in Toronto and have him beat Sami Zayn in Toronto, in Canada, and get the maximum heel heat. But what I see here is levels to building up Otis. I am a little underwhelmed. After weeks, I said it 2 weeks ago, I'm like, the crowd was ready to fucking erupt with a heel turn, or a babyface turn, rather, with Otis leaving Gable. We didn't get it. It was, oh no, the pay-per-view. Then we didn't get it at the pay-per-view. But we kind of did get it at the pay-per-view. Otis walked away from Chad Gable at the end of the match. He carried Maxine in his arms away. That was kind of it. That was half it. Tonight we got the other half. He shoved Gable. He finally physically put his hands on Gable and walked away. So he's done. Now the next stage of this is, now we get Gable getting even more nastier. How do we get Gable to be more nastier? Teaching Otis a lesson, which is going to be more sympathetic for Otis. It's going to build more sympathy for Otis. Because Gable now, after tonight, knows what he has to do. Otis, Maxine, and Akira quit. They walked away. They're done. There was a backstage segment later in the show where they were packing their bags. They're done. Gable's like, you can't leave. Family doesn't leave. They walk away. Otis says, I'm done. We're done. Gable's yelling, well, you know what? I'm done, and you're expelled from the academy. Gable knows what he has to do now. Gable understands that he needs a new academy. Who that new academy is, we've been talking about it here as well as other people. The Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius. We haven't seen them in quite some time. They've been fucking around on Main Event. But when they get back to the main roster and they get that repackaging in the new Alpha Academy, who do you think they're going to go and target? Otis. And that's going to build more sympathy for Otis. That's going to get Gable back to where he needs to be. He's going to start winning matches because he's got the right academy around him. He's going to start winning matches. He's going to get back to the Intercontinental Championship, and he's going to win that belt eventually. But for everybody that wants to sit here and say, well, JD doesn't criticize, I understand feeling underwhelmed because I feel the same way. I expected Otis to be the conquering hero here. But what does he really need to do to show you that he's the conquering hero? Does he need to beat up Chad Gable? Is that really necessary? Or is the visual of him walking away at the end of Clash and the visual of walking away tonight after shoving him down and physically putting his hands on him, is that the visual that we need? Is that all we need? I think this is a product of people wanting so much and then not getting it and then feeling disappointed. But they don't understand that this is just another page turned in the chapter, or the book rather, of the Alpha Academy. And I get it. Is Gable ever going to win that championship? We may be sitting here next year still wondering if Chad Gable's going to win the Intercontinental Championship, because tonight they fucking moved on. But they got to move on in the interim. They got to move on right now. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show when we get to the Intercontinental Championship segment. I don't think Sami Zayn's going to lose the championship all of a sudden because he's not feuding with Chad Gable. I do think that there are layers to this. Gable right now needs a reset, and Gable needs to align himself with some winners before he can get back to winning himself. That's what I think. Judgment Day is in the back. They are in their clubhouse. Carlito and J.D. McFlurry are backstage. They were discussing the rules of darts. I don't know what it is with these guys in darts. They're professional dart throwers. Finn Balor says they need to derail Braun Strowman as soon as possible. Priest walked in. Balor says he has his back against Seth Rollins. It's great. Priest says he'll talk to him later about that. He asks Balor why. Big question in the room, big elephant in the room. Came out right and said it. Why did you take Liv Morgan's key card last week? Now, they were showing highlights. Pat McAfee did the whole fucking play-by-play commentary thing, fucking doing the whole analysis of who took the key card. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, if they don't address this fucking key card after it was blasted all over fucking television, it's going to be a little ridiculous. So thank God Damian Priest mentioned something about the key card because it was all over television. Pat McAfee had a whole fucking segment on it. So he asked Balor why he took Liv Morgan's key card. Side note, I don't know why anybody's worried about the fucking key card this week because it's not the same key card as last week, but we are wondering if Balor did anything with the key card last week, which we don't know. He said he took it to protect Dominic, and it's in the trash. I don't know why it would be anywhere else because it's not usable today like it was last week. Priest says he's been acting a little strange lately, and that's why he's questioning him. He asks where his head is at regarding Money in the Bank. Balor said, if I win it, I'm cashing in to become champion. So there was a little pause because Damian Priest didn't know who he was talking about. And then after a brief pause, he said, on Cody. I'm going to cash it on Cody. Then he broke into laughter, and the tension was broke in this segment. It was a little tense between Priest and Balor. I think that's a foreshadowing of what's to come. So in the background, you see Dominic Mysterio sitting on the Judgment Day couch in the clubhouse. He's frantically looking for something. He's digging in his bag. He's looking behind the couch. And then they see him fucking just uncomfortable there. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you looking for, bro? What are you looking for? He says he can't find his cow vest, his purple cow vest. Now, I don't know what the fucking cow vest looks like. I'm thinking he's looking in a backpack. He's looking in this sack. I don't know what it looks like, how big it is. He's looking for his cow vest. Carlito joked. He said he left it in Liv Morgan's hotel room. So they were like, cut it out, man. You're not making the situation any better. Priest told Carlito, don't you have a match to go get ready for? After everyone else left, Priest asks Balor if he's been talking to Rhea Ripley lately. Balor says he's staying out of that situation. Can you imagine when Rhea Ripley gets back what the fucking Judgment Day is going to look like, man? There's going to be sheer chaos in that clubhouse. What does Dominic Mysterio's cow vest look like? We'll find out later. First Money in the Bank qualifying match of the night. The ladies, Io Sky, Kiana James, and Zelina Vega. Money in the Bank qualifiers. I'm guessing we're going to see nothing but triple threat matches in the Money in the Bank qualifiers, which I don't really mind. Gives more talent, more opportunity to try and get that coveted spot. Only one of these ladies is going to be able to qualify. 6 spots in total. I wonder if WWE is going to do the same thing like they've done in years prior, where we'll get a couple of matches, and then one of these triple threat matches will be a losers qualifying match. We'll take all the losers from these qualifying matches and then put them in one triple threat to give somebody a last chance. Maybe. We'll see. I didn't really like that, but I wonder if WWE is going to go and repeat that from years prior. This actually wasn't that bad. I thought this was better than anticipated, quite honestly. Io's great. Zelina looked really good tonight. Kiana James, the jury is still out on Kiana James. I mean, nobody really knows who she is. She gets 0 reaction. So we start the match. We go right to a commercial break, as always. Io made her way to the top. On the top turnbuckle, Vega used a 619 to knock her off the middle rope. So Vega follows that up with a code red, and Kiana James broke up the cover. So after that, Liv Morgan all of a sudden walks on down the aisleway wearing what Dominic Mysterio was looking for, and she was wearing Dominic's purple cow vest. This thing was fucking huge. This thing swallowed Liv Morgan. That's how big it was. She comes out wearing Dominic's purple cow vest. This distracted Zelina Vega. I don't know why. Who gives a shit about Liv Morgan standing in the aisleway wearing a cow vest? You're not in the Judgment Day. Your business is not with Dominic's missing cow vest. You have a job to win a spot in the Money in the Bank qualifier. But somehow this distracted her. Kiana James knocked Vega off the apron, and Sky hit James with a moonsault for the 1-2-3. That was basically it. Io Sky, the right one here, qualifies for Money in the Bank. Not going to have a women's Money in the Bank without Io in the women's Money in the Bank. So the match was fine. For whatever we saw on TV, it was fine. So, with Liv Morgan out there, this is not the last we will see of Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was on the show 2 other times. I do think, after what we saw last week and what we saw here with Liv Morgan distracting Zelina, I do think that Liv Morgan's first title defense of that women's championship will be against Zelina Vega at Money in the Bank. I know it's not the most exciting match, but as far as the story, it fits the story. And I think that's where we're going. Doesn't have to be anything over the top. The story here is Liv and Dom. The title is secondary. The title is being held warm for Rhea Ripley. So if Liv Morgan's going to wrestle anybody, why not it be Zelina? They factored her into the feud. I could absolutely see that playing out. I was thinking that coming out of last week, that was a little bit more evident coming into this week. We saw a replay of what Bron Breakker did to Ricochet last week with Samantha Irvin at Ricochet's side, getting into the ambulance as the ambulance drove away with both of them. He is finished. Now, there was a rumor that Ricochet was going to get at least one more match with Bron Breakker. That is not happening. According to PW Insider Elites, paid subscription over on PW Insider's website, Ricochet is not getting one more match. He's not getting a match with Bron Breakker. He's not getting one more appearance for WWE, and they are writing him off completely. He is finished. He's going to ride out the rest of his contract. They got what they needed out of him. Bron Breakker basically murdered him last week, and he's going to sit out the remaining dates of his contract and probably end up in AEW. Good for him. Sami Zayn. I was wondering why they showed that, a highlight of that, and then went right to Sami Zayn. I'm like, don't tell me they're going to set up Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker for the pay-per-view. Sami Zayn stood in the middle of the ring, and he's got a microphone. He's still the Intercontinental Champion. He talks about how proud he is to be Intercontinental Champion. He said the issue with him and Chad Gable is now over because I beat him in a wrestling match. He says he's moving on from Gable, but he still feels for the Alpha Academy because he's been in that situation before. He says what he learned from his time in the Alpha Academy is that you have to leave a bad situation on your own time. He said that was the case for him and also for Jey Uso leaving the bloodline. He says he has to look forward to his championship title reign now, and he's got a job to do and defend against anybody and everybody. Out comes Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn are face-to-face in the ring. Side note, I wasn't a fan of his theme music before, but Bron Breakker's theme song, being a Def Rebel theme, because we all know Def Rebel sucks, Bron Breakker's Def Rebel theme is slowly growing on me. It's very generic, don't get me wrong, and I do like the old one better, but this one is growing on me. I think it fits him very well. Bron Breakker entered the ring, and Sami asked if he really interrupted him just to stand there, or do you have something to tell me? Breakker says he doesn't have to say much to you at all. He says he doesn't have much to say because Sami knows what he's capable of. He says he's left bodies in his wake, and Sami is next. He says he is taking his Intercontinental Championship. I'm like, oh my goodness, are we really doing Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn? Because if that is the case, that does not bode well for Sami Zayn, and we are absolutely looking at a new Intercontinental Champion at Money in the Bank if that's the case. All of a sudden, Sheamus comes out and saves the day. He told Sami to consider him because he's been chasing that title for the last 5 years, and he's been putting on banger after banger after banger. He said when the opportunity arrives, he would do anything to get his hands on the Intercontinental title. Breakker yelled, hey, who are you? Who are you? You're just going to walk in here and act like I'm not standing here? Are you out of your mind? He says he knows what happens when people stand in his path. I'll kick your ass too. The crowd oohed and awed. Braun Breaker brings a level of intensity, man, that just kind of pumps you up. And it's genuine, and it's natural, and it's organic, man. I love Braun Breaker. He's so fucking good. Sheamus said Breaker is on a great run right now, and he's the new hot thing in WWE. But let me tell you something, fella. You have no skin in the game regarding the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn then interrupts and says, I'm going to go talk to Adam Pearce because I think the fans would not like to see you yell it out, but I think the fans would like to see you fight it out. Sami left, and we were getting a Braun Breaker versus Sheamus match for the right to challenge Sami Zayn at the Intercontinental title at Money in the Bank. Sign me up. Sign me up. I do think that right now it is way too early for Braun Breaker to be competing for championships. I would not put Braun Breaker anywhere near that Intercontinental title. I would not. I think something like that deserves a nice slow burn. Why are we needing to put a championship on him when he's been here for 2.5 months? I don't get it. I get that he's great, and I get that he's the future, but putting the belt on him right now, you know, this is what I don't think people understand. Braun Breaker is so fucking young that if you put the Intercontinental Championship on him, to me, that is one step below the World Heavyweight Championship. You're basically number 2 on the show. I don't think he's ready for that. He talked about leaving bodies in his wake. He's got a lot more bodies to leave in his wake before he gets to the Intercontinental Championship, because if he's the Intercontinental Champion, then that means he's the second from the top on WWE television. I don't think he needs, is he ready for it? Probably. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's been fucking great. He's probably one of the best parts of the show. But I don't think that's necessary right now. I don't. I think we can wait a little bit. Sami, he just beat Gunther's reign. He ended Gunther's reign at 666 days at WrestleMania. I get that Sami might not be everybody's favorite. I get that people might not be high on Sami Zayn's title run right now. I think it's been great. I do. Has it been better than Gunther? It's 2 different reigns. Sami's been involved in more story than Gunther has, but Gunther's got the fucking work rate to top Sami Zayn. 2 completely different reigns. They're trying to do a little bit of everything with Sami Zayn. Sami's been involved in more story. I don't think taking the belt off of Sami Zayn right now after ending Gunther's reign, which is the greatest IC title reign ever, I think taking the belt off of him right now for the rookie would be a mistake. I think we get this title to at least SummerSlam, and then we reassess our options. I don't think Sami's losing the belt at Money in the Bank. We don't know who's going to be in this thing. As the match itself with Breaker and Sheamus, it didn't really give us a clear-cut winner. There was not a decisive winner in that match. Are we looking at a multi-man match? Are we looking at a triple threat? Are we looking at a fatal 4-way? Is Chad Gable going to get back involved? I don't know. I don't know. So we will see what happens there. But I do think that it is a little too soon to put Braun Breaker in the IC title picture. We're going to recap over the women's tag team title match at Clash of the Castle. Jackie Redmond interviewed Isla Dawn and Alba Fire backstage. They said the hard part starts tonight because now they are the hunted and they are not the hunters anymore. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark walked in. Baszler says they beat them last week and she made Jade Cargill tap out at Clash of the Castle even though the referee didn't see it. Zoe Stark says they're coming for their belts. Alba Fire said, anytime, any place. And Baszler said, careful what you wish for. WWE took the belts off of Bianca and Jade because, let's be honest, the division is dead. They were not doing anything to help the division. No matter how many times you want to sit there and say, oh, well, they did a lot for the division, man. No, they didn't. The division's dead. Not even Jesus Christ coming down from the heavens and blessing the division would help it. It's dead. Those titles were rotting away, even on Jade and Bianca. They were so far superior to the titles, that they put them on Isla Dawn and Alba Fire because nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Nobody will give a shit about the titles on Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. The moment was there. Triple H, seeing how he booked Clash of the Castle, he couldn't have gone 0 for 3 with the Scottish talent. There had to be one winner out of all the 4 Scots on the show. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire were clearly the recipients of the creative direction for the show. Bayley wasn't losing the title to Piper Niven, and Drew McIntyre was never slated to win the World Heavyweight Championship from Damian Priest. So I think the division right now, though everybody seems to think that this is some new direction, there is no direction. It's dead. And whatever these titles are doing and whatever show they're on, it will always be dead. It's just TV filler time for WWE. Equality for the ladies. Carlito, he's out there with JD McRib and Dominic Mysterio. He went one-on-one with Dragon Lee, who's got Rey Mysterio and Joaquin Wilde in his corner. This match went 8 minutes. The Carlito lazily getting by tour continues. Carlito wrestles as if he's a fucking corpse, honestly. It's like Weekend at Bernie's out there, man. I've never seen anybody go in there and half-ass anything more than Carlito has done in this run on WWE. Nothing about Carlito just elicits excitement. I thought Carlito getting back to television, we'd see a new, renewed Carlito, exciting Carlito, second lease on life here, right? What have we gotten with Carlito back in WWE? I can't think of one thing that Carlito has done that's made WWE television better. This is where he will remain. His entire run will be this. Middle of the road, lazily getting by, being a background player in the Judgment Day. This was all about what happened at the end. The match itself wasn't even anything to go over, honestly. Dragon Lee lost. Go figure. Are you surprised? No, Dragon Lee doesn't win anything, which I'm quite surprised by. WWE is really making it difficult for us to care about Dragon Lee. It wasn't a perfect show. It was a great show, but it was by no means a perfect show. Dragon Lee is just a fucking loser. He is. There's no reason to care about Dragon Lee. All of a sudden, Liv Morgan walks out wearing Dominic Mysterio's cow vest. Dominic wanted it back. He's on the outside. He sees Liv Morgan coming closer to him, which is every man's dream. She's wearing this cow vest. She backs Dominic up to the ring apron, starts putting her hands on Dominic again. Zelina Vega runs out and attacks Liv Morgan from behind. Dominic took a cheap shot at Rey as Wilde broke up the fight between Morgan and Vega. Rey Mysterio and Dominic start brawling. So the ref was distracted by all this. And J.D. McFish jumps onto the ring apron, tripped up Dragon Lee, who was trying to go up for a top rope move. He falls off the top turnbuckle, and he's hanging there, and Carlito takes advantage and hits an assisted backstabber for the 1-2-3. And Carlito gets a lazy victory here on Monday Night Raw. Very uneventful. What did we get out of this? Dragon Lee's a loser, and Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan look to be headed towards a women's championship match at Money in the Bank. Moving on. Otis. He began packing his stuff up. Gable walked in and asked him, well, what are you doing? Where are you going? Otis says he's done. I'm done. I'm leaving. We're leaving. Gable says they're family. I tell you when you're done. Otis walked away with Maxine and Tozawa, and then Chad Gable yelled as they were walking away that they were all expelled from the academy. And there'll be tiny nothings without him. He says he's going to win Money in the Bank and then cash in and become world champion, something Otis could never do. Remember, Otis had the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then he put it on the line against The Miz, and then The Miz won it. Yes, I'm glad those days are well behind us, yet you still have some people out there wishing for that sort of creative in that administration to return. Because we're in such a bad place right now, right? With Triple H in charge. Chad Gable being in the Money in the Bank ladder match doesn't bother me. I just don't see Chad Gable doing anything in Money in the Bank. He's not winning it. I don't think Chad Gable's going to win Money in the Bank. You got to remember, whoever they put in that Money in the Bank is going to have some stiff competition at the top. You're going to get Damian Priest at the top. You got Seth Rollins back involved now. Gunther's going to be the world champion. I don't know who's going to end up winning Money in the Bank, but my top two picks are Jey Uso and Finn Balor. And if you got a gun to my head, I'm going Finn Balor to win Money in the Bank. I think that makes the most sense. For story, that makes the most sense. Drew McIntyre. This man was involved in some heated discussion over the weekend from a lot of different angles, a lot of different people in the internet wrestling community. A lot of people exposed themselves as being dumb this weekend. A lot of AEW fans exposed themselves as being dumb. I heard it all. I heard people claiming that I'm a shill. How could you like this? Why would you like this? If this was done in AEW, JD would be complaining. I even had people tell me that NXT Black and Gold was shit. That's the level of these fucking people in the community, man. That's how dumb they are. I said, let's see how all this plays out. And if you guys watch Black and Gold, clearly you didn't, you see how Triple H operates, man. Yeah, it's slower than a lot of people anticipate, but that's the mentality that Vince McMahon created, man. I'm going to need you to leave that shit at the door when you come on into my home, okay? But if you watch Triple H operate NXT Black and Gold, not only was it the best in-ring product, but it was the best story in all of WWE. The brand was so good that it outclassed main roster shows like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, year over year over year over year. To a point where Vince was so upset that he sought to kill NXT because of the way Triple H and his brand was outclassing the main roster. No, but please go out and tell me that Triple H and NXT Black and Gold was shit. You guys don't know shit. This is what I told you. I prepped you for this. I prepped you for years for this very moment. Whatever he was doing down there, you'd eventually see on the main roster. And what are we getting? You didn't complain about it then, but now you're complaining about it. Because it's putting everything else you watch in the pro wrestling space to shame. Because you're impatient when story is being told. You rather instant gratification. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we don't give out championship matches here with no rhyme or reason to fucking people that have 0 wins throughout the year. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you get pay-per-view bangers with no fucking story and no emotion. Sorry, man. Doesn't work that way here. Drew McIntyre. They showed footage of McIntyre going nuts after the match at Clash at the Castle, including grabbing Corey Graves and then confronting Wade Barrett, who tried to talk some sense into him. Kudos to Wade Barrett, by the way. He was totally in kayfabe, but he was basically saying that CM Punk should be fired for his actions and that CM Punk is a piece of shit. So they're really playing this shit up. I think it's great. Michael Cole said McIntyre has been fined for his actions at Clash of the Castle. Drew's in the ring. He was very angry. It looked like he was holding a lot of anger in, and we got loud CM Punk chants. Drew said Punk's name, CM Punk, as he heard the chants. Then he says he can't do it anymore. Screw this company, I quit. He throws the microphone down. He leaves the ring. He starts walking up the aisleway. Adam Pearce comes out and starts begging with him. Let's talk about it. I don't know why you went out there and did that. This is something we can talk about. Come to my office. We'll talk about it. McIntyre walked through the back with Adam Pearce and walked by Triple H. Triple H is like, well, let's talk about it. Triple H is now involved. McIntyre, I don't want to talk to you. I'm done. He's walking away. He don't want to listen to nobody. He quit. WWE's playing this up as if McIntyre is just done with the antics of CM Punk and the fact that the company has allowed Punk to do this to him for a second time. My question is, not really a question, but a callback. McIntyre just signed a new WWE contract. It was very public. The Rock sent him a sword and a contract while he was sitting at dinner with his family. We all know McIntyre is signed to the WWE. Can you imagine? This is why I think WWE, if they played this out the right way, it would have been so much better. But we're now a couple of weeks removed from that situation. Imagine if Drew McIntyre still had not signed the contract yet, and WWE was eventually going to re-sign him to a contract. Imagine if WWE let his contract lapse and he didn't sign a new contract. There was no reports about him signing a contract. Imagine if that happened and then we got this played out. Imagine we get no reports of Drew McIntyre not signing a new WWE contract, and then this shit plays out. People are going to be wondering, what the fuck is going on? Now that's good television. But everybody knows that McIntyre signed. Everybody knows. So now here we are with him quitting, and WWE's trying to really inject this self with some realism, which I appreciate. WWE's trying to smoke this and cover this with a dose of realism. SmackDown's going to be emanating from Chicago on Friday night. CM Punk has already said at the post-show media scrum on Saturday that he had clearance to skip Monday Night Raw in Texas tonight. He was not on the show. We saw clips of him and the situation at Clash tonight, but he was not physically there. He went to go seek medical attention. He says there are some kinks he needs to work out, and he's going to address everybody on Friday night because Monday Night Raw is in Texas. He doesn't have to be there. Friday night, right in his backyard, SmackDown will be in Chicago. I already see some people complaining, well, isn't there a draft? Isn't there a brand split rule? CM Punk does what the fuck he wants, man. Shut the fuck up. SmackDown's in Chicago, and he will be there, and McIntyre tonight quit. So, on one hand, Punk, a Raw star, showing up on SmackDown. I don't see why SmackDown won't allow Punk on the show, right? He's not wrestling. He's just going to address his people. Punk is going to be on the show Friday. McIntyre quit. He's a part of no brand. McIntyre is going to show up on Friday night, or at least I hope so. McIntyre is going to show up on Friday as a talent that quit the company, and he's going to leave CM Punk a fucking bloody mess. Seriously. Now, Punk will not be a heel in Chicago. Drew McIntyre will absolutely be a heel in front of that audience on Friday night if he does show up. But I said this on Saturday. I said it today. And I'm going to say it again. WWE could absolutely work, if they wanted to, a double turn. And I think it would probably fit their narrative and be in their best interests to do a double turn. Now, we're not there yet, but if WWE wants to do it, we could certainly see it. Drew McIntyre, him quitting and him losing the World Championship again, or an opportunity at the World Championship, WWE could really play into McIntyre being the conquering babyface here. CM Punk is not a babyface in this thing. I just don't see it playing out that way. Nothing that Punk is doing screams babyface to me. Nothing. WWE could turn CM Punk into a heel. We could watch CM Punk's villain arc right here with this story. As McIntyre becomes the sympathetic babyface after being screwed over by the company and now by Punk. And Punk become the villain. which I would much rather see him in that role. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think that we could potentially see something like that if they want to. I don't know. If the fans want something, they're going to get it. If they want to cheer Punk, they're going to cheer Punk. And WWE's going to go along with it. If they're going to boo McIntyre, they're going to go along with it. Drew McIntyre was never slated to win the World Championship. I'm going to repeat this and beat it into your fucking skulls. Because I still, today, Monday, 48 hours later, I still see people crying about what I said and what I think and what people think about this situation. McIntyre was never scheduled to win the World Championship at Clash at the Castle. Fuck your instant gratification. Leave it at the door and don't come into my home with illogical garbage. Stop. What would McIntyre do with the World Championship after he won it in his home country? What would he do? Do what? Go into Money in the Bank and do what? Wrestle Damian Priest? He ain't beating Gunther. He ain't having a long reign. What do you expect him to do with the championship? McIntyre goes into Money in the Bank and wrestles whomever. He's losing. Because Punk is going to fuck him out of that as well. If he didn't fuck him in Scotland, he'd fuck him at Money in the Bank. Then you are crying, well, McIntyre can go and wrestle Gunther and drop it there. Why? So you can cry that McIntyre got a 2-month reign instead of a fucking 1-month reign. What good would that do? I don't think half of you realize that Gunther is the Money in the Bank, or the King of the Ring, rather. He's the King of the Ring. He's the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. He is your next world champion. He is not walking out of Cleveland without the title. Would you rather him beat Drew or Damian Priest or Seth Rollins in this case? Because we don't know if Rollins is going to win it. Much rather see Rollins and Gunther versus Priest and Gunther. If you do Drew McIntyre and Gunther at SummerSlam, what exactly are you doing with CM Punk if CM Punk is going to get cleared? You're going to leave him off the show? Who else is he going to fight? Who is he going to wrestle? People don't think. They don't think. Punk has already stated that he's going to screw McIntyre out of every opportunity at that World Championship. He will not allow McIntyre to win the World Championship. Drew McIntyre's made it a story that he's more obsessed with CM Punk than he is winning the World Championship. Every situation he's in, he's got Punk first and the title second. Don't know why you would expect Drew McIntyre to win the World Championship and then float into SummerSlam as the World Champion. To do what? Lose to Gunther. So yes, let's do Gunther and McIntyre and then leave Punk off the fucking card. Don't really get it. Now you're looking at a SummerSlam card for all the people who are crying now. I doubt you'll be crying when we get into Cleveland, August 5th or whenever SummerSlam is. You're looking at a SummerSlam card potentially shaping up as follows. Gunther versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. This is what I'm predicting. Because this is the best SummerSlam card that you could possibly give us. I do think Rollins beats Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think Finn Balor gets involved in that. I think at that point, we start to slowly see the deterioration of the Judgment Day. Balor wins Money in the Bank. I could see Balor trying to cash in, making that a triple threat match. Damian Priest doesn't have to lose if it's a triple threat match. Rollins pins Balor, wins the World Championship, drops it to Gunther because everybody's dropping it to Gunther. It doesn't matter. Rollins versus Gunther should be a banger. Rollins versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Then we get CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And then, because of Damian Priest and Finn Balor and the tension between the Judgment Day, I think we get Damian Priest versus Finn Balor at SummerSlam. Imagine that. On top of Bayley versus Nia Jax. And Liv Morgan maybe against Rhea Ripley. Maybe if Rhea's back. That's your SummerSlam card, potentially. Potentially. Yet everybody wanted Drew McIntyre to win the World Championship. Meanwhile, it would have made it worse. SummerSlam would not come off that way if McIntyre was the champion. Everybody tweeted with their emotions, and I've done it, I've been there, I've done that, believe me. But everybody made themselves look like a half-witted fucking idiot this weekend without actually thinking about what they just witnessed. It was always meant to go down that way. You got people claiming, how could you like that? Why would you like that? NXT sucks. Triple H is a terrible booker. I'm sorry that you guys are inept and impatient when it comes to long-term booking. I watched Black and Gold from day one, and I was the only creator in this space to cover Black and Gold when everybody was like, it's indie garbage. It'll never get over on the main roster. Meanwhile, I was the only one, and you can fucking quote me on this, because everybody's a dick rider. When NXT got popular, then people wanted to pick up on it. I was there from day one. Ask Jesse. He was watching with me. Told you the way NXT operated was the way the main roster needed to operate. Now, where are we? Where are we? You're seeing the same vision that I saw years ago play out on the main roster. And now you have a problem with it because it's putting AEW and their stories, whatever the fuck you call that shit over there, it ain't story. Now you want to make it, it's AEW versus WWE. Triple H is shit. Why? Because Vince McMahon was so great, right? Everything that happened at Clash of the Castle happened because it was supposed to happen. He ain't booking for you. Sorry you got your feelings hurt. And if you went there and paid $800 per ticket, that's your fault. You should know better than that. Seriously. And for all the people, thanks, Salrex. And for all the people claiming, Black and Gold sucks, Black and Gold sucks. What do you think AEW was modeled off of in the very beginning? Black and Gold. So when you say Triple H isn't doing it right on the main roster, what the fuck do you think AEW was doing, and who do you think they were emulating? NXT was the leader in this space for years. That's the future of that was the future of WWE. Now look at where we are. Is it as good as that was? No, it's not. But this is what you're getting. If you're not on board with long-term vision, if you're not on board with long-term booking, if you're not involved with fucking letting shit play out and slow burns, not everything needs to be a fucking year build. I get it. But if you're not involved or wanting to be involved with slow burns and patience and watching weekly episodic television take shape for the ultimate payoff, the other show exists where they give you instant gratification, a match booked for no reason, no rhyme or reason why it happens, and a winner is crowned, a new champion is crowned, and there's no emotion, there's no emotional investment. It's just great pro wrestling. Just great pro wrestling. We need more than just great pro wrestling. Why can't we have great pro wrestling and great stories? People are mental. People are fucking mental. McIntyre quit. He actually deleted his Twitter account as well. Kayfabe is still alive. He's selling this to the umpteenth degree. Great on him. That shit is going to fucking feed families. And the rumor is, I talked about this in the video that you guys should go and watch, WWE is reportedly bringing back Bad Blood. The pay-per-view Bad Blood that Vince McMahon moved away from. He got rid of Bad Blood and renamed it Great Balls of Fire. WWE may be bringing back Bad Blood for the 27th anniversary of Hell in a Cell. Gee whiz. Gee willikers, man. I wonder what feud would be perfect for Hell in the Cell. Yet everybody wanted Drew McIntyre to win the World Heavyweight Championship when Punk and McIntyre is a feud that don't need the World Championship. Match 1 will take place at SummerSlam. Match 2 will take place in September, whatever the fucking pay-per-view is in September. And then match 3 will take place inside Hell in a Cell. That's why they're bringing it back. McIntyre will win at SummerSlam. Punk will win in September. And then whoever wins the final match will have to win inside Hell in a Cell. No, but you wanted McIntyre to win in Scotland and fuck things up. Thank God you people are not booking the fucking company. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Oh, jeez. Nothing match. They defeated Damage Control, Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane. Goodbye. Sane hit Carter with an insane elbow. Katana broke up the cover. They knocked Katana out of the ring, and all of a sudden, Lyra Valk. Who? Oh, she loves birds. She goes to Petco, apparently, and shops down the bird aisle, right? Oh, yeah, her. Okay, great. Lyra Valkyria. We love Lyra. She came out to support as Damage Control set up Carter for a double team move. Kai stopped what she was doing for some reason and turns her attention to Bird Girl. Carter used this opportunity to give Sane a DDT. She kicked Kai, and Carter Chance hit the after party finish for the 1-2-3. Goodbye. Who? Lyra. Io Sky was pissed at her teammates. In the back, she tells them Damage Control has to change, or I will change this myself. Good. Something definitely needs to change. Asuka's out, and Damage Control is dead. D-E-A-D. Dead. Sheamus. He went one-on-one with Braun Breaker. Sami Zayn is at ringside, watching from ringside. The commentary team, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, were discussing what Braun did to Ricochet. Cole said, who knows if we'll ever see him again. No, he's long gone. He's already in the uncreative vortex known as AEW. Sheamus, one-on-one with Braun Breaker. This ended in a disqualification. This was going good up until the disqualification and the Frankensteiner botch by Braun Breaker. Braun hit a running clothesline. Sheamus responded with a backbreaker, rolling senton. Sheamus knocked Braun out of the ring, hit a clothesline off the apron. Braun knocked Sheamus off the apron moments later. Sheamus leaned up against the announce table. Braun hit a leaping clothesline off the apron, sending both guys off the table. Fucking great. We go to a commercial break. Sheamus was in a rest hold. He fought out of the rest hold after a break. Braun dropped him with a gut buster for a 2 count. Sheamus fought back. Big clothesline, swinging side slam for a 2. Sheamus is sitting on the top turnbuckle. Braun leapt on the ropes like he usually does. He makes that one motion, shows his athleticism, jumps onto the top rope. He wanted to do a Frankensteiner, but he slipped, and they both fell over. This was a nasty spill. Looked like Braun landed on the back of his neck. Thank God he was all right. They both get up. Sheamus responded with a white noise. Braun hit a clothesline, but Sheamus caught him with a lifting knee strike for a 2. Sheamus did the 10 beats. Sheamus set up a bro kick. Ludwig Kaiser tripped him up, slammed his knee against the post, caused a disqualification. So Sheamus wins by disqualification. All the people in the land of social media, well, why don't you keep that same energy for Braun Breaker? You went so hard on Jade Cargill. I'm sorry. What? Kiss my ass. Are we really comparing Braun Breaker and Jade Cargill? At least Jade didn't kill herself, and neither did Braun Breaker. That's the only thing that fucking matters. But Braun Breaker has at least 3.5 years of performance center training. Jade Cargill has 0. There's a difference. There are levels to this. Fuck out of here. Sheamus went after Kaiser. Braun nailed Sheamus with a spear. This was fucking great. After he nailed Sheamus with a spear, crowd is going crazy for this. All of a sudden, Kaiser sees Sheamus down. He's going to add insult to injury on Sheamus. Braun Breaker's on one side, Kaiser's on the other. It's like meeting them in the middle. One guy's running around one side, Braun Breaker's running around. They did this aerial shot, watching both guys converge with one another, and Braun Breaker met Kaiser in the aisleway next to the commentator's booth, and he speared the shit out of Ludwig Kaiser, man. This aerial shot, watching this all go down, what a fucking shot it was, man. I love those aerial shots, showing off Braun Breaker's fucking just intensity. Great stuff. This was great. Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn are going at it. He actually put his hands on Sami, shoved Sami down. Officials got between them before they could fight. This was a very good match before the botch and the DQ. The botch was whatever, but the match was going very well. Crowd was into it. I talked about this on Tuesday Night Titans, episode 52 last week. Jason and I are going to have a fucking hell of a show tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow. I mentioned this to him in discussion. What do we do with Sami Zayn? Jason came up with the idea of Gable winning the championship, the Intercontinental title, at Money in the Bank from Sami Zayn. Beating Sami in Toronto, getting that heel heat. Gable and the Creeds winning the title. Gable goes on to SummerSlam. He wrestles Otis. He retains the title. We get Chad Gable having a little mini run with the title until he eventually gets to Sheamus. Sheamus would end up beating Chad Gable for the title. Now, this is my idea. After Gable wins it at Money in the Bank, he goes through the rest of the summer holding the title. We get to about the fall. Sheamus wins the Intercontinental Championship from Chad Gable, holds it till WrestleMania, where Braun Breaker then is anointed the one. Breaker versus Sheamus at WrestleMania for the IC title, and Breaker takes the title from Sheamus at WrestleMania. That's what I had envisioned. Now I don't know where they're going. We got Sami, we got Braun, we got Sheamus, we got Kaiser. I don't know where they're going with this. But all I can tell you is the Intercontinental Championship title picture is fucking healthy. I'll tell you that. Never has it been this healthy in quite a while. But again, I'm going to sit here and tell you, I don't think Braun Breaker needs a title yet. I don't think Braun Breaker is ready to hold an Intercontinental title. Not ready per se, but the way things fall, I don't think he's ready for it. I don't. But we will see what happens. What are we getting at Money in the Bank? I have no idea. Are we getting Kaiser versus Sami versus Braun versus Sheamus? Are we getting Sami versus Sheamus versus Braun? Are we getting Sami versus Braun or Sami versus Sheamus? I have no fucking clue. I have no clue. But I don't think Sami should lose the Intercontinental title yet. Yet. But that title picture is very strong right now. Dominic walked around in the back asking everybody if he's seen his purple cow vest. Morgan was in a aisle or a hallway, a very discreet hallway. And she's standing there leaning against the wall, and she's wearing Dominic's vest. He sees her and asks her politely, "Can I have my vest back?" She then says, "Well, you could have it back if you take it off yourself." So she starts to unzip it. She says, "I'll even help you out." She unzips it halfway. So Dominic leans in and starts unzipping the rest of the jacket. All of a sudden, Damian Priest starts walking towards them in their direction and sees this and puts a stop to it because he walked in a very sticky situation. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. He didn't know what was going on before he showed up. And he shooed Dominic away. He got his jacket back, and she gave him the jacket, and he shooed him away. And then he looks at Liv Morgan and says, "Can you please leave him alone? He wants nothing to do with you." And Liv Morgan says, "Oh, yeah, is that right? Well, I can tell you for sure he wants something to do with me." He looks at Liv Morgan walk away and says, oh my God, is she loco? Everybody loves the crazy chicks, man. Everybody loves the crazy ladies, the crazy women. Anyway, Karrion Kross, he's with Scarlett. Cut a promo backstage on the New Day. He challenged either man to a singles match with no one at ringside. He hoped it was Kofi Kingston and figured Kingston would want Xavier to stay in the back anyway. Woods and Kingston cut a promo. In response, Kingston said Kross hasn't done anything since winning the NXT title while New Day were the greatest tag team of all time. Woods mentioned Kross' challenge, but Kingston stepped in front of him and accepted the challenge. Woods looked slightly off here, a little annoyed, smiled and shook Kingston's hand, told him to go for it against Karrion Kross next week. Next week's Raw in Indianapolis, we see two more qualifiers. Braun Strowman, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, triple threat match for the men. For the ladies, Lyra, Valkyria, Shayna Baszler, and Kairi Sane. I could absolutely see Chad Gable winning the Money in the Bank qualifier, but not winning the Money in the Bank ladder match, and Lyra is going to win for the ladies. WWE's not going to leave Mini Becky 2.0 off of Money in the Bank. Also, Chad Gable lost to Braun Strowman tonight, and he's in a qualifying match next week with Braun Strowman. So he lost to Strowman tonight, and then he's going to end up beating and getting his win over both Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed next week. So for all the people saying, oh, Gable's buried. We don't even know if Gable's alive. He got massacred by Bo Dallas tonight. Main event. Triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier. Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio versus Jey Uso. It got Usi in the main event. It went 15 minutes. We go into a commercial break about 90 seconds in. Always. Typical WWE. Match starts. Commercial. Rey hit Balor with a seated senton, springboard crossbody for 2. Rey used a crucifix pin on Jey for 2. Balor tried for a schoolboy roll-up. He got a 2 count on Rey Mysterio. Rey went for a 619, but Balor knocked him down with a clothesline. Jey hit Balor with an enziguri. Balor connected with a Pele kick. They went to break again. And we go to another commercial break. It was basically 90 seconds into the match, we'd go to commercial. We come back for less than, 4 minutes? Right back to a commercial. God, I can't wait for Monday Night Raw to get to Netflix. Raw brought Balor to the top. Took him off the top with a Hurricane Rana. Jey speared Mysterio for 2. Balor shoved Jey off the top rope, and Rey hit Balor with a 619. Rey followed with a sliding splash to the outside, and then a 619. Rey also gave Jey a 619. Rey then gave both men a lot of 619s here. A lot of 619s. Booyaka, booyaka. Rey went to the top, but Dom ran out to stop him. Rey knocked him down, but J.D. McFlurry, he dropped Rey Mysterio on the outside. Dominic and Carlito attacked Rey, but Strowman ran out. His music played, though. I don't know why. He ran down, chased away Judgment Day. Jey super kicked Balor for a 2. Balor then hits a sling blade. Rey got back in, but Balor caught him and drove him into the top turnbuckle. Balor hit Rey with a coup de grace. Jey followed on the opposite end, coming off the top of the big splash on Balor while he was in a pin on Mysterio. And Jey got the pin on Balor. 1, 2, 3. And Jey Uso bounces into Toronto and gets into the Money in the Bank qualifier. Or Money in the Bank ladder match. Great stuff. Thought it was a decent main event. And we all expected Jey Uso to advance in the Money in the Bank. Now, Balor, I do think WWE is going to run the loser qualifier match. I think Balor's going to end up getting in there. That's just me. We'll see what happens. Closing angle. Jey Uso celebrated. Lights went out. Same way they did with the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Section by section by section, they got those sound effects. All the lights go out. Fireflies are out. Everybody's got their cell phone flashlights on. All of a sudden, we see what I immediately saw as Nikki Cross crawling to a lantern that was in the aisleway. She pointed to the back. She gets up. Very creepy. This was very creepy. Points to the back. Cameraman followed because, I mean, are you not going to listen to zombified Nikki Cross? The back area was dark. It was filled with smoke. Lighting was fizzing out all over the place. A few guys were knocked out. Bodies on top of bodies. Could have swore I saw Braun Breaker laying amongst the dead here. Eric Rowan stood over them, or what I presume to be Eric Rowan, stood over them with a mallet. The mallet was white and said, "Help." He was in his rabbit mask. Camera continued into the gorilla position. Lights flickered. We saw another masked man sitting nearby on top of some production crates, which I assume is Dexter Lumis. Another masked man. He is past gorilla in the hallway. Joe Gacy standing there. He's got his head sideways, like all these characters usually are depicted as, head sideways. He's got a mask on. And Chad Gable was amongst the dead. Blood seeping from his head. He was laying against one of the production crates. The final masked man we see is Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas. He's standing there with his arms out, wide open. He's walking towards the camera. Motions to his men as they're walking through the massacre that is the Monday Night Raw production team and some of the roster. Walking over the dead bodies. They walk on out through Gorilla and through the curtain. And they meet Nikki Cross in the aisleway, and they're basically standing there as Monday Night Raw credits roll. We got the trademark logo at the bottom of the screen, and they're standing there like they're posing for a Slipknot album cover. And Monday Night Raw goes off the air with Bo Dallas saying, "We're here," and he blows out the lantern. This was fucking great. Said it in the beginning, I'm going to say it again. This was exactly what they needed it to be. Now, I was expecting a Nexus beatdown. That would have been something else. But WWE, I mean, this was, you know, all the cool kids on social media say this is cinema. This was fucking cinema to the next level. This was great. This was exactly what you would expect. No hocus pocus, no fucking supernatural shit here. WWE had a high level of production coming into this with the Uncle Howdy stuff. The documentary gave way to this, teased it. We got all the fucking QR codes and the vignettes and the Twitch streams and the WWE website being hacked. This was violent. This was brutal. That's exactly what it needed to be. And the crowd loved every minute of it. This was a fucking love letter to Bray Wyatt. A continuation of what he created. He's looking down, fucking smiling from ear to ear. That family tonight is over the moon happy about what happened and the reception that they're going to continue to get until next week's Raw. Great stuff. This was excellent. It's got me excited about next week. The first thing we need to see next week is this. Why? What are they doing? And I want to hear from them. I got to hear Bo's voice. We got to see them. Why are they here? What is their vision? What is their goal? What is their mission statement? How is WWE going to follow this up after the production gone missing and people were murdered backstage? How are they going to follow this up? It is a little goofy. I get it. But those questions will remain next week, and they need to be answered next week. How are they going to follow this shit up? That's what I want to know. Now, they got new merchandise out. If you guys go look at the Twitter account, you go look at WWE Shop, they got new Wyatt 6. S-I-C-K, 6. There was only 5. Who's the sixth member? People are asking. I don't know. Could be Alexa Bliss. She could be leading the group. Who the fuck knows? We know Alexa's going to have a part in this. We know she's going to have a part in this. She's a part of the Wyatt family lore. She was basically playing Sister Abigail. She was featured alongside Bray in the Firefly Funhouse. She was a part of that universe. Is she leading the group? Could be. I would not go that route. WWE left it open-ended. Who's the sixth member? Who's the sixth? For now, and this is the direction I would go, I would leave it open. The Spirit of Wyndham is the sixth. That's who's the sixth member. But hopefully we find out what their mission statement is. Maybe we do get a sixth member. Maybe it's Braun Strowman. Maybe it's Alexa Bliss. Maybe it's somebody that we have no fucking clue who it could end up being. But the presentation of this was fucking great. It needs to be different. It needs to be different than what Bray did. Bray was all supernatural. Red lighting. He wrestled in the fucking mask. He was impervious to pain. Everything came off so hokey. But that's the way he wanted it. That's the way he wanted it. WWE never allowed him to go out there and wrestle. It was all supernatural story that fit Wyatt's imagination. It can't be that. I don't know what we do or where they go with this, who's going to end up wrestling, what their roles are going to be. Uncle Howdy's obviously the main man here. Bo needs to wrestle without the fucking mask. I don't want to see Bo wrestle in the fucking mask. I want to see the mask removed. I want to see him. I want to see Bo as a human. He doesn't need to be operating as Uncle Howdy. He could be Uncle Howdy in a promo. He could be Uncle Howdy in a vignette. He doesn't need to be Uncle Howdy in the ring wrestling with the fucking mask on like Bray did with The Fiend. No. Same goes for everybody else. Eric Rowan's not wrestling in the fucking rabbit mask. Dexter Lumis is not wrestling in the fucking buzzard mask. They need to be who they are in the ring. I don't know where they go with Rowan. Rowan's obviously brought in to wrestle. He's not going to be standing around in a fucking rabbit mask. He's a tag team guy. They need to be like the Bludgeon Brothers. Minus Brody. Whoever that is. Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, whatever. This needs to be a tag team. Nikki needs to be in the women's division. Don't know where we put Joe Gacy. And Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, whatever the fuck he's going to be named. He needs to be the main man here. I don't want them to go all supernatural. I don't want them to be impervious. I don't want them to do all this hokey-pokey fucking hocus-pocus bullshit. It needs to be normalized and humanized. But the presentation of violence, massacre, bloody, fucking everybody's in danger. That needs to remain. That needs to remain. That's the vibe we're going for. They nailed that. Fucking perfect. For a first time out, they nailed it. But my general concern is, how the fuck do you follow that up? Anything they follow that up with is going to be a fucking disappointment. Don't know. But they piqued my fucking interest. I'll tell you that right now. This was a very story-driven Monday Night Raw. This was one of the best Monday Night Raws that you will see all year. I expected it to be a newsworthy show, but man, oh man, WWE came out swinging for the fucking fences. And I said on Saturday, the WWE Summer Lull is a usual thing. Everybody's operating like, oh, this is like you've never seen this before. Coming out of Clash, going into Money in the Bank, coming into SummerSlam, WWE needs to change that narrative, man. A lot of injuries. McIntyre's back. Punk is back. We got the Wyatts back now. Rollins is back. You're going to start to see stories play out. And I hope from this point on, the WWE Summer Lull for the rest of the summer is non-existent. Tonight was a great show. Thank you guys very much, man. We had upwards towards 5,000 live in here. We still have 4,400 in here live tonight. I appreciate you guys very much, man. We hit 1,700 likes. Can we get to 2,000, man? If you guys are in the chat right now and are one of the 44,000, I wish, 4,400, and if you not hit the thumbs up, I would really appreciate it if you do hit the thumbs up. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We're going to hang out in just a bit. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Thank you guys for 160,000 subscribers, man. Thank you guys very much. Tonight's show sponsored by my great friends over at BlueChew.com. All you guys need to do is sign up. Use that code JD at checkout. Get your free sample, and all you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. Guys, I know Money in the Bank's coming up, man. Listen, you don't need to win Money in the Bank. Your Money in the Bank is Blue Chew. You'll be cashing in that fucking contract quicker than you could think. Blue Chew is your way to cashing in your Money in the Bank contract. Sign up using that promo code JD at checkout. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. Blue Chew is a unique online service that provides the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it comes in a chewable tablet, and it comes at a fraction of the cost. You guys can take them anytime, day or night. Be ready whenever the opportunity arises. The best part is, you sign up online, it's all done online. All you got to do is consult with one of their online medical providers, and once you are approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days, no questions asked. No visits to the doctor's office, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, no awkward conversations, none of that. Blue Chew is made in the USA, and they are prepared and shipped direct to you and delivered very discreetly right to your front door. So if you guys want to benefit from that extra confidence, Blue Chew is where it's at. Sign up at BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. And I want to thank them once again for sponsoring today's great Monday Night Raw post right here on Off the Script. JR uses Blue Chew. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Michael Krause, good Monday, JD and OTS family. Hope you had a great weekend. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. Michael, thank you, brother. Hopefully you had a great weekend too, man. My weekends are fucking boring. Hopefully you guys had a great Father's Day. Billy with a $2 super chat. Good evening, JD. Hope you had a great weekend. Thank you, Billy. Michael with a 6-month membership. Thank you, JD, for everything you do for me and the OTS family. All your hard work is much appreciated. We are all thankful for it, my friend. Thank you, brother. Who said green true? Green chew? Who the fuck said green true? I didn't say that. Oh, Big Rod 10 said green. Why? What the fuck is green chew? I can't even say it right. Thank you, Michael. Beyond the Scripts, 32 months. Hey, brother, just got a new house. Sorry I'm not on YouTube much anymore, but still here to support the best damn podcast today. Love you. Thank you, Beyond the Script. And congratulations on that new house, man. Michelle with the $2 super chat. Fatal 4-way at the PLE with Chad screwing Sammy. I have no idea. I have no idea. Black Wolf Inc. with a 16-month. So I guess Triple H really wants us to know that he's bringing back Bad Blood. Also, that ending was sick and twisted. Horror fantasy. Loved it all. Yeah, it was great. Oh, it's weed. Sorry, bro. I don't smoke. Billy. $5 super chat. Prayers for Chad Gable's family. What happened to Chad Gable's family? Black Wolf Inc. with a $10 super chat. When you think of this version of the Wyatts, think of Wrong Turn meets Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's not supernatural, but demented forest people. Rest in peace, Chad Gable. Pour one cold beverage for your boy because we know the fuck he is not drinking. Anything because he's dead. Rest in peace, Chad. Now, Chad will be on the show next week. He's got a Money in the Bank qualifying match to get into the Money in the Bank ladder match. Setsuka with a $4.99. This Raw was goated. Triple H cooked with this one. And this is how you book a wrestling show from start to end. Story, story, story. And the Wyatt 6 debut. Michelle with a $5 super chat. 3 things. 1, Seth cashed in his Charlotte in the Bank. No, he didn't. 2, like Jason said, Drew should show up Friday and murder Punk. Yes. And 3, more Wyatt 6, please. Chris Barcinos with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Chris. Love the way Raw ended. From the presentation and how each member was introduced. Also, the camera work for the whole show was simply phenomenal. Yes. WWE's production team has stepped it up big time, man. Jack Glancy with a $5 super chat. Someone get the HR lady on the line. People are dying, and my boy Dom is getting sexually harassed by some succubus. Harlot, this is not a safe workplace anymore. I don't know, man. I don't think Dom has got it that badly. David Thiering with a $100 super chat. David, thank you so much, brother. What's up, JD? Certainly a newsworthy Raw tonight. I felt with the Rollins return and the whole angle regarding Liv, Dom, Drew, and of course Uncle Howdy. Very curious to see what Punk is going to say and do on Friday in response to Drew quitting tonight. I think Drew shows up, brother. I think Drew shows up. Senile with a $100 super chat. Thank you, brother. JD, I've been going to events in Corpus for about 30 years. This was by far one of the best live. Biggest crowd I've ever seen in Corpus, and yet we still sounded like it's half full. At least we popped for the ending and bronze spot. Hey, Paul, where's the decibel meter at, pal? Senile, you guys could have definitely been a little louder, but compared to other Corpus crowds, you were a lot better than the last few times. I'll tell you that. All in all, it was a great show, man, and I'm glad you had a good time. Thank you and David for your generosity, man. You guys are unbelievable. Triple M with a $5 super chat. Dual Destiny class item. Dupe glitch getting patched. Make sure you get your rolls tonight. Wyatt segment was gas. We need a Destiny Discord chat. I might have to make that, brother. I haven't done Dual Destiny yet. Jesse and I tried to do it, and Jesse's the worst guardian ever. Furious Nation with a $4.99. What's up, JD? Absolutely love the ending to Raw tonight. Beautifully done, and Bray Wyatt will be smiling from ear to ear, man. Bo did Bray proud. Yes, he did. Phantom 67 with a $100 super chat. The ending of Raw had me cheering. I love a good massacre. Great introduction to the Wyatt 6. Happy Rollins is back. Cheers, JT and OTS. Thank you, brother. Always appreciate Phantom being here, man. Always. Nick Williams with a 25 months. Going through some stuff lately. I'm glad I have you to give me the entertainment I need and cheer me up. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that, brother. Whatever you're going through, man, it's all going to pass. It's only brighter days ahead, brother. Yeah, I should be around, Triple M. I should be around tomorrow. I just, you know what I did? I actually got all my red borders for the seasonal activity. All my red borders done. I got to craft a better call, man. It's... A lot of people are like, oh, go lead for gold and one for all. All right. I love this. There's just something about beacon rounds that I love, man. You know? I may do beacon rounds in Vorpal, to be honest with you. Noah with a 4 months. This is what I wanted to see. The Wyatt 6B, vicious and badass. Big shout out to Taylor for doing this. I know it's hard. Rest in peace, Bray. And JD, keep it up. Yeah. Love it. Thought it was great. Lunar Guardian with 22 months. Thank you, guys. The debut of the Wyatt family was amazing. Indeed, it was. Phil with 18 months. What a show. Braun Breaker, insane. The Wyatt 6 reveal. Unfucking believably good. Dom is the strongest man in the world. I'm folding for Liv. I think anybody would, brother. Coiled Phoenix, 31 months. I'm so happy to finally see the legacy of Bray Wyatt unfold tonight. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for the new family going forward. Devil emoji. Yes. Indeed. Thank you, Coiled. Good to see you, Coiled Phoenix. A VIP here on OTS. Phantom. 10 months. Holding my glass up high for Bray. Absolutely. Prodigy Freebird with 34 months. The Wyatt 6 debut looked like something out of a movie. Cheers to 34 months, JD. Prodigy, thank you for being here, brother. Scott Woodford with 15 months. It's the Wyatt 6, which is very cool, yes. Ben Callanan with a $7.99. What a show, JD. Now, that is how you bring in a new group, showing complete destruction. Loved it. Jericho, 81.31. $20 super chat. It sucks that Bray passed when he did, as I believe Triple H would have taken better care of him than Vince ever did. But I'm hoping that Triple H will do right by Bray's legacy and make this one hell of a tribute group. I think they're in good hands, brother. I think they are in very good hands. Cam G with a $100 super chat. Wow, what a fucking debut. Literal horror show tonight. Loved every second of it. Other than that, just showing love and support. Much love, JD OTS for life. Thank you, man. Always great to see my guy Cam G in the OTS venue. Thank you, brother. Why reality sucks. $2 super chat. I want that buzzard mask. Holy fuck, it looks dope. Yeah, Dexter Lumis was rocking. What was Joe Gacy wearing, man? It looked like he was wearing a gas mask. Oh, no, it was the Huskus. It was a Huskus the Pig mask. That's right. He was wearing Huskus the Pig. It looked like a gas mask. It's a weird take on Huskus the Pig, man. MGM Bowling with a $20 super chat. Rollins back. Maxine, boo. Looking scrumptious. Dom is in trouble. Braun is a machine. Still prefers old theme. Someone check on Gable. Wyatt 6. Fly high Bray. And the Tribal Chief hitting 160K. What an amazing night. Absolutely. Lewis with a $100 super chat. Love the energy tonight, guys. Best fucking show on YouTube, OTS for life. Lewis, thank you, brother. Hoping you are well tonight, man. Let those cigars flow tonight. Billy, this is Dr. Disrespect Eclipse. Demeter Bullion. CM the Dicky Dick with doggy ass with $7.99. Hey, diddly JD, bruh, Seth Rock and Roll versus Priest is like Rock and Roll, the devil versus Priest, the son of the Lord. Blunts in my hand, says AJ Stylish, no goat. No fucking clue what that means. But apparently, I'm diddly JD now. Thank you. Thank you, Demeter Bullion. CM the Dicky Dick with doggy ass for $7.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. El Mase with a $10 super chat. Seeing the AEW stand say the Wyatt debut was a ripoff of AEW Texas Chainsaw Massacre match. Laughing my ass off. Bro, they're comparing that to one of the worst instances of AEW television ever. Let them talk. Instead of enjoying it, they have to go and compare it and then put it down. Fuck them. Tim Sim with a $10 super chat. One of the best introductions to a faction I've ever seen in my lifetime. Top tier WWE production right there, and shocking to see Chad Gable among the carnage. Bray's legacy is here. Apparently, people were saying Gunther was a part of the carnage, and so was Braun Breaker. So, thank you, Tim Sim, with a $10 super chat. Phil with a $9.99. The introduction couldn't have been more perfect. The production was top-notch, and the presentation was incredible. Just allow them to seek out their vision, and this will work. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Absolutely. Absolutely, Phil. Mr. Team Bring It with a $4.99. Braun Breaker sent Ludwig and Ricochet to the Shadow Realm. He did. He's very good at that. He's very good at that. That one guy with a $5 super chat. JD, we love Lyra. Me, what? What? We do? Amazing show. Thanks for keeping it real and calling it how it is, man. Thank you, that one guy. I always will do that, brother. Poppy Sensei. And yes, I do love Lyra, man. Lyra's a lovely lady. Poppy Sensei with the $2 super chat. Best part of Uncle Howdy's return, no Alexa Bliss. You said it. You said it, Sensei. Not me. Mr. Team Bring It with a $1.99. Cross needs to go bold again at this point. No, we don't. Johnny with 13 months. JD, you the best. Thank you, Johnny. M. James with a $5 super chat. All fingers point to Jey Uso winning Money in the Bank. Kind of meh about that, if I'm being honest. Hopefully Finn can still end up in the match and win. He deserves it. I think Finn is going to win it. Though I'm very fearful that Jay's going to win it and cash in on Gunther and win the title. I hope that's not the case. Noah Driscoll with a $1.99. LTB. Awesome show, JD. Thank you, Noah. Krauser with the 2. Same hammer Bray killed Ramblin' Rabbit with. JC720 with 22 months. Great episode as usual, JD. Love that ending. Thank you, JC. Will Chisholm with a $10 super chat. With Io Sky keeps saying damage control needs to change, you think it's a tease of her adding new members? Maybe from Marigold. It has to be a reason it's a thing. No. I think the group is just going to dissolve. And Io's going to go solo. Dova. $10 super chat. I love you, JD. Thank you, Dova. Dova Kensupa. Billy with a 5. What I meant, Chad Gable got murdered tonight. R.I.P. I know what you meant, brother. Rich Gamble with 26 months. What's up, JD? This whole show cooked tonight. The ending of the show and how the Wyatt Six was introduced was nothing short of amazing. I agree, Rich. Demeter Bullion. CM the Dicky Dick with doggy ass with a $2 super chat. No message. Thank you, brother. And Triple M with a $5 super chat. Sent my Bungie account on Twitter. I'll be around 1 p.m. after reset. You got it, brother. Guys, I'm about to get out of here, man. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. Solid Monster and I are going to have one hell of a fucking show, man, for episode 53. Holy shit. Holy shit. You guys are going to get one hell of a Tuesday Night Titans tomorrow, man. Thank you guys for almost 5,000 live on the Raw post show tonight, man. You guys are fucking great. John Wick, Spider Hunter, Nate TV. $10 super chat. Wyatt Six is here, and we went from horror stuff with Bray to creep pasta. Triple H is cooking now. You mean Papa H, not Pasta H. What is he, a fucking chef now? I guess so. John Wick, Aquaman, or Penguin Z0 to battle Roman Reigns. Long-term booking. Nate, thank you, brother. Guys, I'm getting the hell out of here, man. I will see you all back tomorrow night live with the Solid Monster on Tuesday Night Titans. What a show that's going to be, man. What a show that's going to be. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Become part of the 160,000s here on the best fucking live stream in the entire community. Nobody's even close. Right here on Off the Script. Until tomorrow, Jason and I, the Solid Monster, and I will see you live for Tuesday Night Titans episode 53 right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.